All right, that was a quick award show, and it makes you think, why can't we do quick award shows all the time? Like, just here's your award and it's done. No silly comedy acts, no weird skits that don't go anywhere, no awkward hosting. For this, of course, I'm just wearing. I got this today. I actually got this during the Patreon/members live stream that we just had, and it fits pretty nice. Got this, of course, through Teespring. So it's one of those. It's just weird. It's weird to, because it's kind of my face under my face. Anyway, here we go. So today we saw who the winners were, and this was presented by the city of Las Vegas. I assume it's by their tourist industry, which of course has been hit pretty hard this year. So Vegas magnet on the board, proving I have magnets people don't even know that I have. This has never appeared in a video before, and this was a nice, well done show. The Calder Trophy presented by Wayne Gretzky opened things up. Was it going to be Hughes or Kubalik? Cale Makar won. Now, I had suspected that maybe with Makar's injury and the amount of time that he missed, that maybe Quinn Hughes would edge ahead of him. But I still think Cale Makar probably has the better career of the two. Kubalik, I would imagine once they reveal the voting, he'll be third. I would think behind Hughes and Makar, which is not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Your Norris Trophy your Calder Trophy winner is not always the best player in a rookie class. So they just have that best first season. So congratulations to Cale Makar. The kid's absolutely fantastic. Has been since he came up in the playoffs last year. And he's a big part of the reason why Colorado's a contender. The Hart Trophy, Gretzky presented that one as well. Of course, Gretzky won it 9 times himself. Leon Draisaitl won that one. McKinnon and Panarin were also up for it. And, of course, we found out early in the day it was leaked that Draisaitl was the winner of the Hart Trophy. It's not a surprise. There is no surprise to me that Leon Draisaitl won that. Vezina Trophy, Grant Fuhr presented that, and it was Connor Hellebuyck that wins it for the Jets over Tuukka Rask and Andrei Vasilevsky. I would imagine Rask was third in the voting. Didn't play enough games, I would think, to get really serious first-place votes. Hellebuyck had an amazing season. And honestly, I agree that he was the best goaltender in the league, so no argument with that. The Lindsay Award, that was handed out by Mark Messier. And Leon Draisaitl is your winner over McKinnon and Panarin. Now, the interesting thing to me is that the Lindsay Award always gets handed out earlier on, and the Hart that's your league MVP. I kind of think they have it backwards, because the Lindsay Award is presented to the best player in the league as voted by the players. And to me, because the players vote on this, and because this is voted on by the media, I put more stock in the Lindsay Award than I do in the Hart, just in general. But Draisaitl won both, and so good news for him and for Oiler fans. I think we can end the narrative that Draisaitl doesn't get talked about enough, or he's underrated. I think we can knock that narrative right out of the park. That's not a thing anymore. And Leon Draisaitl wins both of those awards. And then the Norris. And this is the one where I could see there being some upset in Washington land, because John Carlson had this award sewn up after, I would say, 25 games of the season. And then Roman Josi was fantastic. Josi really had a complete all-around great season. And so Josi ends up winning it. I would think of the votes on the board, Makar versus Hughes, Josi versus Carlson are probably going to be the closest votes. So once we know the exact vote totals, I would think that's going to be close. But I can't argue with Josi either. I know even towards the end of the year, people are like, still think Carlson's going to win it. I'm like, but Josi's been fantastic. So I'm glad to see him get it. I've been extolling the virtues of Roman Josi for years. And it's nice to see him get a Norris Trophy for himself. Interestingly enough, of course, Colorado, out in round 2. Edmonton, they were out in the play-in round. Winnipeg out in the play-in round. Nashville out in the play-in round as well. So just one of those oddities that the guys who win the big awards usually are not the ones that win the biggest award, which is the Stanley Cup. But, the Conn Smythe's a pretty big award as well, and we're at most 6 games away from seeing who wins that. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts regarding this. And again, to the city of Las Vegas, we miss you too. So I see Vegas people regularly. We miss you guys. We miss going to Vegas a lot. Yvonne and I almost daily we'll talk about Vegas and how much we miss going to Las Vegas. It's been over a year since we went there. Just a great place to just hang out, wander around, and it's a beautiful city, and the hotels are absolutely top notch. And again, if you don't gamble, and if you don't drink, Vegas is a pretty cheap trip. The flights are cheap, the hotels are cheap, and then they try to get you to gamble and drink while you're there. And if you can avoid those things, it's not too bad. So since my wife and I don't drink and we don't gamble, we have a pretty cheap trip to Vegas when we do go. And so here's to hoping that we're able to do it in 2021. Fingers crossed. And then hopefully for next year's awards, they can have them in Vegas and do the regular full gatherings where we have the awards. But maybe a more stripped down version would be good too. Because again, this award show usually takes 2 hours. Of course, a lot of the awards were announced before this, but these 5 awards, they can drag these out to 1 hour and 15 minutes for these 5 awards, and it just seems to take forever. So kind of nice to see it this way. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.